Let me take off my shoes and get comfortable because we need to talk. I've been wanting to tell you this, but I don't like telling girls, like, let me just tell, I'm gonna, hold on. I was studying, but, ouch, what the heck? I was studying, but let me get comfortable. Roku remote and everything. My favorite. I'll give you a tour of that later. But when you told me that he didn't want to be when you told me that he didn't want to be in a serious relationship, but you guys have been sleeping together and you guys hang out every day, and I know that's standard, like, oh, sometimes you don't know if you want to date somebody like that, but I'm gonna be 100 with you. In college, you can create that boundary of what kind of girl or woman you want to be in college. If you're dating just to date, nothing serious, okay, but if you are dating to be serious, then you need to go ahead and create that boundary at the beginning and not be afraid of that's what you want. There's nothing wrong with that, and I told you that before. If that's the type of person that you are, there is nothing wrong with that. And I wish I had someone to tell me that. Water. I wish I had somebody to tell me that, because at the end of the day, you can create your traumatic situations by the path that you decide to go on. So if you're going down the path of no, I don't want, hold on, because that low-key is scaring me. Like, I know nothing's back there, so let's just no, and it's just my thing, but no, hey, I don't just date today. I don't just casually hook up with people and hang out with people all day, all the time, every day. Get in your bed, and we're not dating, we're not together. Like, if that's not how you work, then don't force yourself to be that kind of person, because you're going to be in a relationship that is forcing yourself out of your nature. It's against what your spirit and your intuition is guiding you to do. And it doesn't matter how young you are. If that is what you're trying to stand on that. Stand on it, and you will attract the type of person that your heart is truly desiring, instead of settling for something that you don't really want. And after my spiritual mentor, she set me down when I was going through something, and I'm going to tell you that story later. But I think it's so interesting. She said, what people don't understand is we bring God into our finances, our worries, our problems, but we don't bring God into our love lives. Bring God into your love life. You bring God into, oh, I want to make good grades, oh, I want this kind of job, oh, I want this internship, oh, I want to make this kind of money, oh, I want to have this type of platform on social media. You ask him for all that advice, but you're not asking him for advice in your relationship. Hold on, that's my DoorDash. 1 second. Okay, I got my food and I'm not gonna eat it yet, but yes, she gave me advice that there is true love and there's truly satisfied love, where you're truly satisfied, where people pick somebody based off, okay, I'll be truly satisfied with this person. And then there's deliberate, such specific kind of love that God aligns you with, that you didn't, sometimes you want it, sometimes you know, no. And I'll talk to you about that later. True love and truly satisfied love is totally two different experiences. and it can take you on two different paths, and we can talk about that later. But I wanted to talk to you about this time. Hold on. I wanted to talk to you about my experience when I did the same thing that you were doing. So in college, when I was 19, I went to school in New York, and I wasn't dating him. The first day of orientation, they told us, I went to a school, the art school, where we learned film and television and dance, whatever. I got a scholarship. It was amazing. And I told you bits and pieces, but I never told you the full story. So when the first day of orientation, they told us, you will be put in sections based off what we think you belong, and strength and creativity and everything. We got put in sections, and it was absolutely exquisite. I loved my section. They warned us, do not date somebody in your section. You will see them kiss other people, because they wanted us to get the feel of what it was like being on set of a TV show, of a movie, and how you have to coexist with all these different type of people while working on a project together. So it was very clever. So our first day of school, you get to see everybody you're in a section with, right? And the day before we went to the section, everybody met everybody. It was amazing. It was beautiful. There was black people, Hispanic people, white people, foreign people, a lot of foreign people. So first day of school, I already locked eyes with this guy, and I'm not gonna say his real name, because even though I want to, because I know you will look him up, but I started having a deeper, more spiritual relationship with God before I got to college. It was very dramatic, and I was just seeing God and getting very intrigued with the signs he was giving me. So I was already on a note then. So anyways, first day of school, I met, I'm gonna call him P. I'm gonna call him P, P-E-A, P, like a P. So I saw P and P saw me, and it was like an explosion of energy. We had a lot in common. We were literally like this. It was an invisible string that became between us, and for some odd reason, we knew we were destined to be together. We knew it. We felt it. I mean, I have been with this person in a past life before. That's how intense it was. And I did not set my boundaries on what I wanted. So we were, basically freshmen in college. And even though we had this great chemistry, it was really hard going from just good friends. We start laughing, we start talking every night. He would come up to my dorm room, we would just talk and laugh, and we started getting really close. He was already talking to somebody downstairs on his hall. Girl, she didn't even go to our school, but she was in college. Like, our dorms, the way our dorms were set up in New York, it was multiple colleges that was in there. NYU, like the New York Art Institute, something like that, for fashion, something like that. They was there in our school. So we was in this building, and across the hall from him were these like two, three girls, I don't know. But anyways, she was the opposite of me. She was light skinned, she was thick, she was fun. I'm thick, but she was just the opposite of me in aesthetic and energy, everything. But I knew that they were talking. He told me, because he started telling me everything, and I started telling him everything, and we got really close. But mind you, I didn't know where this was going at first. I just know he really liked me and I really liked him. So he would come upstairs after hanging out with her all, like for a couple, like an hour, he would come hang out with me for the rest of the night, and we would sit outside my dorm room and just talk. Hold on, I gotta log in. You know my son. Okay. We would sit outside and just talk, and after we get done talking, he would go downstairs and go back to sleep, and I would see him the next day at school. Yeah, so it was intense because we would see each other all day, and then we would come home and we would talk, and I didn't know what was really going on with her. I think I call her like boo number 2 because I knew he liked me more. So I'd just be like, she's boo number 2, like boo number 2, like bay 2, something. I said something, I forgot what I said. But there were strikingly obvious red flags, obvious reasons of why I should not be with him. But I was meant to be with him, if that makes sense. And I will break that down maybe in a, actually I will do it right now. So on my journey, I have learned, even though you're not meant to be with someone, you were destined to meet this person. Not, oh, we were supposed to, no, no. There are things you cannot imagine in your destined life where you are aligned to meet someone for lessons, for an experience, for an exchange, for a number, to segue you into an experience, whatever the case may be. There is certain people that you have to meet. Not, oh, I just met, no. There are certain reasons. As I'm saying that, I'm looking at something that gave me a clear sign, but there are certain reasons, certain things, and certain people that you are destined to meet, that God ordained you to meet, that God aligned you to meet in such a crazy way that it will blow your mind. Because I started regretting after this relationship, like, why did I even get with him? Why did I even meet him? But he exploded me to a door that I opened wide open, that I was meant to experience, and so I don't regret it at all. We had everything in common. We had extreme parallels and synchronicities. Let me tell you how intense it was, right? His mom started dating a pastor. My mom got married and he was a pastor. He got married into like a lot of kids. His dad married somebody with a lot of kids. So altogether, he was the only boy and he had 3 sisters. I have, it's with me, my dad has 3 girls and 1 son. Same with his dad. His dad has 3 girls and 1 son. Then both of our moms married pastors. Then we just had so many synchronicities, so many parallels. It was insane. So I already knew this person was extremely different. We laughed. Everybody knew we were together in our section. But let's go back to the bae number 2 that he would go downstairs with and come upstairs with. He started telling her, she calls you bae number 2. Like, Tatiana calls you bae number 2, and she knows my face. She knows who I am. So I was like, don't tell. And jokingly, I said, don't tell her anything because she's gonna come upstairs. She's gonna try to jump me because she's from like a state where they're like hardcore. So he goes and tells her that. Red flag number 900. And I walk in with my entire section, okay, about 15 to 20 people, and she confronts me and says, can I talk to you for a second? In front of P PEA in my entire section. She says, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "I just wanted to confront you because my screen. I just wanted to confront you because P said that you be talking about me behind my back. You said I was gonna jump you. You said you were gonna fight me." I'm like, "What? I have never experienced anything like this before." I'm like, "I don't even know your name." And I didn't. I call her Bay number 2. I was like, "I don't even know your name." And what was P doing? Just sitting there looking at all of this. I went upstairs. I got very emotional. I think I called my mom or my sister, and I was just like, I've never been through anything like this. This was just very intense for me. And over a boy, I was like, "I don't even know your name." And she was like, "Okay, well, I'm just saying, don't talk about me." I'm like, "I just said I don't even know your name." Okay. So anyways, we leave the situation. He's like, "I'm so sorry you had to deal with that." I'm like, "Bro, let's push fast." With this P guy, even though we had this intense relationship, when we performed together, when we would act together, people would literally cry because it would be so intense, so good. Our first scene at school, we did it together. Our teacher would give us so much gratification. She would just be like, I mean, it feels like you guys have known each other for years. And then once we start getting into the heart of our bond and our union, we never dated. Throughout the whole school year, he would sleep in my bed. We would be intimate together. We would hang out all the time. We had the same friend group. I introduced him to my friend group in our section. It was getting intense. And he would let every opportunity, when a girl had a crush on him, he would give it an inch of a time. So I would get embarrassed when somebody was like, he would entertain flirting. He literally told me one time, I wanted my door opened, and he was like, "Tatiana, you know that's not really my style. You know that's not me opening doors." And I'm like, I want a Prince Charming. And he was so lover boy, but there were just certain qualities that my intuition and my heart yearned for that he wasn't offering me. He would go out of town because he would be like, "I need opportunities to come after college, so I'm gonna start planting seeds," which is very great. So he would do singing shows, right? And on the singing show he went to, I'm not gonna say which one, but on the singing show he went to, when he auditioned, he had to come up with a story, like a heartfelt story, like they do. And he said, "I'm gonna say my girlfriend back at home and I can't be together and I love her. I gotta make this story juicy." While we're being intimate with each other all the time, while we're hanging out with each other all the time, he's creating a story about somebody back at home. And I was putting up with this because I did not set the boundary of that is what I'm willing to tolerate. So that's why I keep saying, bro, set the boundary of what your intuition, of what God is telling you, of the kind of person that you are, because he will bring that into your life. He will manifest that into your life. He will bring that to you because you know your identity and what you want. So I had this mind-blowing relationship with P, and I knew I was meant to be in his life, and I knew I would, whatever, vice versa. And there's so much more to the story. I know I'm gonna tell you again about this, but what I'm saying is, what will you, even at a young age, what will you allow in your young dating life? Are you ready to date to marry? Because if you're not, that's okay. But what will you allow? Are you going to be celibate? Are you going to be intimate? And it's good to ask God about these things. It's good to have a real conversation and bring God into these areas of your life so he can guide you to the best possible outcome, because you want experiences, but you don't want to go through the traumatic healing of getting involved with someone who can lead you down a heartbreaking road. Because this is just one of many things he's done to me. I mean, I've had friends tell me plethora of things, and I held on to it for the mind-blowing experience I never had before with a guy. And we officially did start dating. He asked me out, we started dating, and I know I changed his life. He tells me to, I mean, I have friends who be like, you changed his life. He tells me, and I got to have closure with him, thank God. But it took a long time to get over him. It took years to fully recover from what all he did. And so I want you to take that in consideration, because you have some time, and you don't want to be going through all these traumatic situations because you didn't go to God about it and you didn't set your boundaries. Of course, I love you and I'm here for you, and I want you to, I might give you advice just to be like, oh, I know everything. I'm giving you advice so you won't go through, you can save yourself from going through an experience. Yes, my food is getting cold. Okay. Of course, I love you. Okay, bye.